Well, how's it going, everybody? Today's Sunday, December 1st, and we started grazing today. This is group 1. They've been out here for about 3 hours. You can see the line underneath the reel. So they've already put a huge dent in this. They'll spend the next 3 or 4 hours going around cleaning it up before they go back to milk this afternoon. We also started breeding this morning too. Looking for a September 7th due date on these first ones, and we just bred on group 1 and group 2, and there was 16 cows in heat altogether. A few of them are early, so ended up breeding 12. See what you got. Watch out! Oh, so you're gonna knock your teeth out. I'm tired. I said it's a little bit crooked, but this is what we're gonna do. See the seam right here on the plastic?
Yeah.
We're gonna take all these tires and then make a line across where they're just barely touching the seam.
Okay.
All the way down.
Okay.
Leave these tires that are already up here where they are.
So these ones.
All right. So today's Tuesday, and we are on our 3rd day of grazing. The cows, all 3 groups are grazing. We did some adjustments. We're not milking the fresh cows 4 times anymore, and kind of cut down to 3 groups. We got about 175 in group 1, 169 in group 2, and 130 or 140 in group 3 right now. Group 3 is just now getting out to the pasture. The first ones are already, you can kind of see through the pile of pallets, and then half of them are still in the feed lane. Group 1's down here in pasture number 3, and group 2's way over the hill in number 31 right now. And then they're in their last breaks of those fields, and then they will be going to a new field tomorrow morning. Right now we got mineral that came today. We got 5 totes of milk cow. There's 3 here and there's 2 over there. And then I moved the pallets of close-up and heifer out, and so we're going to reorganize all that into the commodity barn. And we have been putting soy holes in that bay, but soy holes are kind of like impossible to get right now. I could get a load for $255 a ton, which is about $60 more than what we were paying. And I guess from what I was told, that there's a shortage of forage in the Northeast, and so they're getting all the soy holes now, and the price went up, and so we're just gonna go without. Feed a little more baleage, about 2 more pounds of baleage compared to the 4 pounds of soy holes that we were feeding, and we also got the grass, so we'll just make do without them. So we're gonna put the mineral all in that bay, all nice and neat, and then could go get some cottonseed for $235 a ton, but now that we're grazing that lush green grass, cottonseed and, well, really like cottonseed and DDG and this green grass, they don't really go together very well because of the oil that's in, for instance, the oil that's in cottonseed and the juice of that green grass, basically the oils of them together don't mix, and they'll depress your butterfat. So better to go without the cottonseed since we're grazing now. If we weren't grazing, or we were in the middle of summer grazing, we could probably get some cottonseed and do pretty good on it. But now that we're in this winter pasture, it's not worth it. So you're talking, if we went to feed it, we'd be getting maybe like a 3.5 instead of a 3.8 butterfat, and that's makes the higher the butterfat, the more valuable the milk is. So we'll get all this situated and we'll mix up the last load of feed today. All right, here we are. It's almost dark, so we gotta make this kind of quick. But this is field number 3 down here that's been grazed off, and that's what this here looked like that down there before the cows grazed it. So they had that Sunday, Monday, and then they had the last piece of it this afternoon or today, and they're actually almost done milking right now in the feed lane. But so that field will sit like that for about 35 days before we come back to it again. Approximately 35 to 38 days, depending on how many fields we get ahead of us. You can see group 3 right now. They're scattered out all across their field, which is number 29. And they didn't do quite as good of a job grazing as group 1 did. Group 1, you probably couldn't ask for any better. The only places there's some grass sticking up is where they took a crap. Other than that, everything's mowed down. All right, so then this is what they're going to graze tomorrow, and you can see, it's I don't know how tall it is, 8 inches or so. It's nice and thick. Need somewhere to put this. You can see how juicy it is. These green stains on your hands. It's obviously soaking wet. You could probably wring it out. And that's where I was talking about earlier on the 20% dry matter. So if you dried it down, if you had 100 pounds, you would only end up with about 20 pounds of dry grass. So they're going to come in here. We already got the reel set up, and they're going to have this tomorrow and this right over here the next day, and then they'll move to another field. And then group 2 is going to go to number 27, which is back that way, and then group 3 is going to go to 32, and they got 3 days apiece on those 2 fields. So that's kind of what it looks like when they get done grazing a field, and that's just about perfect, and that's what we shoot for. With that being said, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.